Is Fiverr still worth it for sellers in 2024? The short answer, yes, with an asterisk. The long answer? If you look at the list of pros and cons, you might be surprised by the negatives I tell you to overlook in order for you to get a piece of the Fiverr pie. Hi, my name is Amber Campbell. I'm an indie author and a freelance editor who's been offering services on Fiverr since 2022, and let's dive right into it. The reason that I'm putting together this video is because 2 weeks ago, Fiverr unveiled their new metric requirements for promotion on the site. Also, I do want to provide an update on the success score, which I talked about in the last video. I'll card it somewhere up here. And I've heard from other freelancers that sending at least one update through the chat feature provides a boost to the success score. Now, I don't send updates per se because none of mine go over 2-week timeframes normally, but whenever someone submits the requirements, I do send a very short message that says, hey, I have everything I need to get started. If I have questions, I'll reach out to you. I don't know if that's what's helping influence my score positively, but others have said that since they started doing that, they've seen a rise in their success score overall. So just something to keep in mind. For today, I want to break down the pros and cons of Fiverr from the seller's perspective. I know there's still a lot to complain about, but I believe they offer a lot for freelancers that other sites just don't do. I'm also on Contra, Upwork, LinkedIn services. I have not seen anywhere near the volume that I've seen on Fiverr in terms of getting jobs. I have a very niche set: beta reading, copy editing, manuscript critiques, and query letter revision and writes. So that may be part of the reason. However, with all of that in mind, you also have to think I've been able to build my testimonials and look into offering my own editorial services through an LLC because of the success that I've seen on Fiverr. So it's important to look at both positive and negative reviews of a site, just like you do a book, before deciding if it's right for you. Pro number 1, Fiverr is free to join and use. That's right, it is free to use forever if you so choose. There are quite a few freelancing sites that you have to pay a monthly or even a weekly subscription to. I'm looking at you, FlexJobs. However, Fiverr never asks for any of that. So they have a Sellers Plus program where you can get your money a week early, or you can use promoted gigs, but you don't really need any of that to be successful. I am a great example of that. I don't have Sellers Plus. I don't mind waiting 2 weeks to get paid. And for the promoted gigs, from what I've seen, as soon as you stop paying for them, you have never existed in the algorithm before. So you don't ever need to do that. Plus, I have actually been apparently pleasing most of my clients because I was just awarded with the Fiverr's Choice on my beta reading gig. Half of my orders that have come through in the last week have it and some don't, and I'll put up a screenshot here. Not sure why some people see it and some people don't, but that's okay. I will take what they give me. Something to consider in my individual case: 13% of my total income from last year came from Fiverr, which is impressive because I put no money down to start earning money. I did have credentials to back up my skills. I have a BA in creative writing. I spent 2 years as a YA MG reader for a literary agency. I spent 3 years in editing and proofreading roles. So in that sense, yes, I paid for all that. But that was long before I ever considered freelancing. I always anticipated going into a corporate role because that's what our lovely school system here in the United States teaches us is the only way to go. So I can't think of many professions or even industries where you can essentially launch your business for free, but Fiverr does get a badge of honor for never forcing its sellers to spend money to make money. Yes, they offered the programs I talked about, but you don't ever have to sign up for them. Now, you might be telling me, Amber, what about the 20% Fiverr takes of your earnings, including your tips? And you are absolutely right about the tips. I will always have beef with Fiverr for taking any percentage of my tips. However, 20% of zero is still zero. So if I make $5,000 on Fiverr, but because of that 20% taking, I only have $4,000, that is still more money than I would have earned because otherwise I would not have made the $5,000 to begin with. I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite take into effect or into account, is that how else would you be getting these clients? I want to say maybe $75 of the money I earned editing and beta reading last year was off of Fiverr. That was it. And that is not even 1% of the 13%. So that's just something to keep in mind. And that actually dives right in to my pro number 2, which is Fiverr finds the clients for you. Have you ever done cold calling or cold emailing, I guess as we call it nowadays? If not, have you ever been a recipient, especially on Instagram? LinkedIn is really bad for this too, where people just DM you saying, hey, I saw your YouTube video and I think I can help. No, I'm not making money on YouTube, which means I'm not paying you to do something for it. Same with book reviews. I get a lot of people telling me, oh, I can promote your book and review it for a fee. I'm like, that is extremely unethical, and if you get caught paying for any kind of reviews, sites like KDP can take away your author account and just delete it, shut it down. You will never have access to it again. It's one of the horror stories you might have heard. So something like Fiverr, yes, they might take 20%, but they're providing you with all the clients. You never have to do marketing for it if you don't want to. I market my services on Fiverr over on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. I don't think I've ever had somebody book me through any of that. I just do it for awareness. But 100% of my clients on Fiverr found me on Fiverr. And it's something that is really, really important. And you can sit there and say, oh man, the market's oversaturated on Fiverr. But at the end of the day, I am consistently getting 4 to 5 jobs a week. And when you consider that those are fully blown manuscripts, that's a lot. There are a lot of writers out there. There's a lot of companies who need freelancers. And there is no reason why you should think of the 20% as a negative when you wouldn't have gotten 80% of what you earned if not for that. Now, you might be asking me, but Amber, I can't get clients on Fiverr. What do I do? That's easy. We have to ask a couple questions to see what's stopping you from landing clients. Number 1, are you a new seller without testimonials? If so, I recommend letting colleagues know that you're now offering services so that they can purchase from you at a discounted rate to help you build your first few clients and testimonials. Now, this is not against Fiverr's terms of services. However, this is also not something you want to do long term. You just need 1 to 3 just to help get you out in the algorithm and also show that you've got some reviews. A lot of individuals on Fiverr still will not purchase from a freelancer if there's 0 reviews on them. Having 1, 2, 3 is going to help you land more in that term. Number 2, are your prices too high? Personally, my prices have doubled since I started working on Fiverr in 2022, and that's because I was underpaying myself in the beginning on purpose to get those early testimonials, 10 to be exact, so that I could reach that level 1 promotion. Now, I don't offer services that can get done in 30 minutes. They take on average 4 to 6 hours. And so I did the math on my early gigs, and I was making about $4 to $8 an hour. Right now, I average 15 to 20 an hour. Because 1, I have raised my prices, but 2, I've also learned how to better manage my time. And while it does suck to undervalue yourself, consider this a part of the freelancing journey, which it is. You don't make 6 figures as a new apprentice, and so you can't make 6 figures on Fiverr in your first year unless you offer a service where you can charge hundreds or thousands out of the gate and still have people interested in purchasing your services. Number 3, is your market oversaturated? Now, Fiverr offers 3,100 beta reading gigs. However, search up beta reading YA, which is what I do, and 279 will pop up. And they're not all YA, by the way. That is an insane jump. Not only that, but I'm almost always on the first page for the YA side of beta reading, which means I have a better chance of landing a client who doesn't want to slosh through nearly 300 other sellers. Copywriting is one that many sellers complain about being oversaturated, but I say create gigs that are as specific as mine. If you write articles about automotives as well as fashion, make that 2 separate gigs. That will also help you track which services are pulling the most traffic so you can focus on those ones instead of the other ones. I had offered probably 3 other gigs at various points in time, which have now just been deleted, because they either brought in the clients I did not want to deal with, to be perfectly honest with you, or they just weren't really seeing traction at all, so I didn't see a point in wasting a gig offering on it. Plus, when a job would come in for one of the other ones, I wasn't as excited as I would have been for beta reading and copy editing, and I took that as a sign to just let those go. The majority of your lack of clients will stem from one of these 3 issues. Don't be afraid to change things up and see how it affects your rankings in the algorithm. Pro number 3, sellers are protected to an extent. So this is going to be my most controversial pro for Fiverr, but that is that sellers are protected and their customer service is hit or miss. Don't get me wrong, but the money that these individuals are paying for your services is real money. It's not a hot check. It's not a fake fund. Anything a client purchases is with real money. So you might argue that you can do all this work for a client and then they demand a refund and Fiverr rewards them because they look out for buyers and not sellers. Which absolutely sucks. I can't sugarcoat that in any way, and I'm not going to. But any client that does that to save money should immediately be reported by you and then showcased to other sellers to avoid them. However, I myself have caught numerous red flags when discussing projects with clients before they've ever purchased a gig with me. And whether it's that they have a lot of specifics that they're looking for, or they ask for things that are outside of the scope that I've offered, or they want me to kind of blend things together, or especially they're arguing about the price. That to me is a big red flag. If you tell me, hey, I can't really afford your price, my first thing is, okay, what can I take out of my basic offering to lower the price for you? Because once we reach a certain level, there's no need to undersell ourselves. So just make sure that if you're noticing and you're picking up bad energy with someone and it's just not sitting well in your gut, listen to it. I understand that, I am fortunate in the sense that this is half of my income. I do have a day job that supplies the other half. However, you have to remember, this is your peace of mind. This is your business. If working with someone, first of all, is going to take away your peace of mind, it's just going to add a bunch of stress, and they may not even pay you in the end, why even bother working with them? I do want to say I've had 1 cancellation on Fiverr, and it did not affect my stats. They wanted me to beta read a nonfiction. I immediately replied back, I don't read this, sorry, you'll have to cancel it. Reached out to Fiverr support. They handled it within 24 hours. It wasn't showing that I had anything but 100% on my cancellation score. So, just like I said, keep your peace of mind. I explicitly read YA and MG, and I state that on there. I've had a couple reach out asking me to read genres I am not comfortable even stretching for, which include horror and erotica. If that is what you write, don't even bother. It will be an automatic no from me. But just remember, this is your business, regardless of whether your clients book you on their site, on your own site, or Fiverr. This is your business, and you can take it seriously and say no to whoever you want to. This will lead us right into con number 3, which is Fiverr doesn't always side with the sellers. And we have to remember that they're a corporation, and so we have to play by their rules if we want to play on their turf. However, do not let this deter you. This is the same advice I give to authors when they're scared to go to Ingram Spark for their book publishing, which is be aware of their shortcomings so it doesn't affect your book launch, because you're not going to be able to rely on their customer support and service to help you out. So I have found that the way I naturally interact with my clients, which includes responding within 2 hours, sending messages at the start and end of the project duration, and then thanking them afterwards for their kind words if they left a review, are the things that help me stand out from the other sellers. So customer service should first and foremost come from you. So yes, they are a corporation, and most of us probably left corporations to do this because we were tired of that atmosphere. Don't bring that energy with you, okay? We complain all day long about these private reviews on Fiverr that we have no access to. But at the end of the day, if we're doing everything we can to provide excellent customer service, then if we get a bad review, that is something that was completely out of our hands. There was nothing else we could do to please this person. There are going to be people like that out there. We can't do anything about them. So just treat your clients how you would someone you come across on the street, and they may not be receptive towards you. If you can get out of that before you do work for them, that's great. If not, it's a lesson learned. Watch out for certain red flags next time. But overall, is Fiverr worth it in 2024? Yes, it is crucial for freelancers. Unless you are someone who has built up your client list and can just move them all off the platform, great, go for it, do that. However, if you just want to use it for testimonials to get like 10, 15 and then jump off the site, that is the dog. then you can do that too. You can do either way. And I just don't see a reason for anybody to hate on Fiverr for their new success score metric. A lot of people were complaining about it, saying they don't understand how it works, but my mom just had to come get the dog. But at the end of the day, I think that if you're providing good customer service, that's going to come through in those private reviews. And like I said, I've been on there for a year and a half. I have never had an issue. I've got some that have lower scores, but since my overall score is a 9 out of 10, that's essentially the highest you can go. Nobody so far has reported having a 10. I don't know if that's even something we can get. But please let me know, have you joined Fiverr, or do you have other freelancing sites you prefer? Why or why not? I'd love to get a discussion going, especially for those who are leaving Fiverr because of these new metrics. Again, they're very corporate. I get that. If you want to leave, that's cool. It's micromanagement, essentially. But for me, I just see too many clients, new ones, come through there for me to actually get off the platform. But, as always, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you have liked it, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, all the clicky button things, and I will see you guys all next time with another video. Bye.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room.